Hello and welcome to Beyond the Game. Recently Sega released the Sega Collection, a collection of games from the Sega Megadrive days. This is of course not the first time they do this, but is this new release any good? I shall review this collection as the entire package by itself. I will probably make separate reviews in the future under the Beyond the Game retro review section. But let's get started. As always, first up are its graphics, and this is really an interesting one, and it's not because the games all look the same as many years ago, but it's because they added an option to enhance the graphics. You see, Sega built in an emulator in this collection that comes with graphical options. Now you can upgrade the pixel count in the old games to make for a more smooth look, and there is even an option to get aliasing filters enabled. If you prefer, it does make the pixels more dense for a better look, although a bit washed out. Most games run as you might remember. The Sonic games run smooth and so do the Street of Rage games and others. However, not all games run this smooth. I can't remember if some games had horrible frame rate at the time, but Virtua Fighter 2 for instance runs terrible. This is unfortunately also the case with Sonic 3D and Space Harrier 2, and I had hoped they could have upgraded the frame rate on those games. It's a big miss, but maybe they want to have as less work as possible on this collection. The room where you select your games looks decent, but of course this is not the main selling point. For the fans there is something a little bit off, and that comes in the cartridge aesthetics. Once you pick a game you want to play, you see an animation of the cartridge being placed in the console. However, the stickers on the cartridge of the game you picked looked way more colorful and real than they show here. But of course, it's nothing to be really nitpicky about. Once you start playing, the tunes of all the games come out of your speakers, and this is really a blast. More of a nostalgia trip than anything else though, but it's a delight to hear the tunes again of that era. All the games have a good and clear sound, and none of the games had sound problems in the time that I spent with them. If you remember the sounds fondly, you won't be disappointed here. There are no further enhancement settings here like the graphical options, but that's not really necessary as these typical 16-bit tunes don't really lend themselves to be heard in a surround sound. Now of course for the biggest selling point of this collection. It contains 53 classics from the Sega Genesis, or Megadrive as it was called in Europe. 53 is a really big number, and for the most you won't be disappointed here. Sonic 1 and 2 are here, as is the Street of Rage trilogy. Golden Axe, Wonder Boy, Phantasy Star, Shinobi, and even the before mentioned Virtua Fighter 2. It's a great collection of nostalgia, and the selection is actually pretty decent. There is something in here for everyone, and it will guarantee many hours of playing fun. However, there are some games missing that Sega should have included in this collection. I personally did miss Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles. These two were one of my favorite games, and it's really sad to see that these are not included in this collection. Also, no Mortal Kombat or Daytona USA among other fan favorites. If you want to replay the old Sega games and haven't bought one of the many release collections already, this is something you surely should buy. I however just have a bit of a conflict with this release, as Sega is talking about releasing a Genesis Megadrive mini console with probably the same games on it, if not even more. I do secretly hope that Sega will be adding games in this collection by either free DLC or paid DLC. Yes, the price point seems steep at first, but when you think about it, it just comes down to only 60 cents per game. And some of these games will keep you playing for many hours. I give this collection as a whole a 7 out of 10. Did you have fond memories of one of the old Sega games, and which one was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. As always, if you like this video, please hit that like button, and for more video reviews and other videos weekly, check out the channel or maybe even subscribe. That was it for today, thanks for watching and see you next time.